You all for being here tonight. This is agenda work session, March 9th, 2017. We're attempting to set the agenda for the April 13th regular council meeting. Of course, the second council meeting of March has been canceled. We did that last time because we have at least a couple of folks who won't be here. And then the following Thursday, we have the public meeting with Carter. March 30th. You have the roll call, please.
Mayor Lambert.
Here.
Vice Mayor Sewell. Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Hilton. Here. Councilmember Williams.
Here.
City Manager Miller.
Here.
City Attorney Lynchburg.
Here.
Okay, before we get down to the potential items of business, it looks like there will be a special presentation. Chief Reed, do you have any information on that?
Sir, it's going to be posted on the web.
Okay. All right, and then under old business, potentially ordinance number 1029 will be in regard to the architectural design standards in commercial zones. And that is before us on first reading tonight. We also, I believe, have a public hearing scheduled for that as well. We do. So potentially that would be in front of us on April 13th for second and final reading. Do we have any questions in regard to that? I'm sure, again, public hearing and first reading tonight, we'll have plenty of opportunity for questions and comments. Okay, item B would be ordinance number 1030. That would be in regard to amending the sanitation ordinance. The city manager has some updated information on that.
Yes, Melvin, our sanitation superintendent, will not be with us tonight. He's had an elbow injury today, he's on medication, not allowed to drive, not feeling too well. So I was going to ask that item be tabled tonight. So there may be some questions that you have to ask him or want to ask him in regard to some of the proposed changes that was made.
Yes, sir.
I spoke to Bill about some of the changes that I've found in this thing, but he said he could turn it in and change it he had made. It's 17-101. Number 8 has to do with trees being cut down, the length, and the inches of the length of the big stuff and the little stuff. And then over in 17-110, the comprehensive section. So he needs to determine what size it's.
Right? Yeah. We talked about that this afternoon, and he was planning on making it tonight, but he emailed me at 6 and said, or 5:30 and said he's not going to make it.
I found this 17-111, it still indicates 2 inches, so
I know,
maybe
there's-
it's 6 or 8.
Yeah, there's still some concerns, and I mean, I can address them tonight, but he may have some questions of him, because this is out in the field. We talked about this, so that's why I'm asking that this be tabled tonight until the next meeting, and we'll just postpone the second reading until the second meeting in April.
So when the time comes during the regular council meeting, we will just simply need to table that ordinance. And for the work session agenda that we're on currently, item B under old business will probably be removed. It will still be under new business, I would say, since we're not dealing with it tonight. And it will be on first reading, April 13th.
Correct.
on to potential items of new business. There will be a public hearing in regard to an unnumbered ordinance for the rezoning of 1506 Creekmore. And then the subsequent reading of the first reading of the ordinance. And that was something that was dealt with Monday at the Planning Commission meeting. It is a residential home, has always been a residential home. Is still used as a residential home, but was one of those things, we've seen a couple of these here recently, back when the blanket rezoning was done in the 80s. This is a property that was zoned commercial at that time, or rezoned commercial, but it has always been used as R1 residential, and the current owner is attempting to sell it and is having difficulty because of the zoning. So she's asked that it be rezoned, and the Planning Commission said yes. So it will be ultimately up to this body for final approval of that. All right, and item C will be discussion of amendments to the facade grant.
I don't have any specific ones in front of you tonight. The staff has not had an opportunity to meet with individuals on vacation and other individuals out sick, so we will meet between sometime in March, and we'll have couple of recommendations in regard to the facade grant for you at that time, for the April 13th.
All right, thanks, sir. Item D, discussion of the redevelopment authority. Got a couple of petitions floating around. Just need to gather those. Okay, so I imagine that will be turned into the city clerk within the next week. And from that point, I believe a public hearing is scheduled. 15 days? I'm sorry. There's a couple of weeks between when the signatures on the petition are certified and then the public hearing. And that public hearing will be advertised, and members of the community will have opportunity to come and speak in regard to that. And the council will make the decision: is there blighted, unsafe, unsanitary housing in East Ridge? Does it exist? I don't think it's a hard decision, but that's the process. And so at that point, council will make, after the public hearing, council will make a decision, and we will go from there. So again, stay tuned. I'm sure we will again make that public hearing. I would anticipate probably early April, just because of, again, spring break, the reason we canceled the second meeting this month and all the rest. All right. The final item that's listed on the work session agenda is discussion of the aquatic stream grant.
We can remove that. That's going to be discussed tonight, our regular business meeting.
Okay.
I think we have some time constraints. We had to get this in by the end of March, is my understanding. Couldn't wait till April.
All right, sounds good. All right, Mr. Cable, do you have anything for us?
I just, something the city managers want to check on Life Care Center for us, if we can remove those trees or.
Right. Yeah, I've talked to, I'm playing phone tag right now with their maintenance man, the TDOT maintenance department. Talked to Nashville office, and then the local office, they've got no problems with it, but they referred me to the maintenance. I'm waiting to get clearance from him. I don't see any problems, but he wants to know specifically what we're doing. We also have to do an assessment out there regarding how many trees are under 4-inch diameter. Anything under 4-inch diameter, we're allowed to cut down. Anything over 4-inch diameter, I'm not sure where we go to get approval on that.
It would. And Mr. Miller and I actually had the opportunity to go down and speak with the executive director and director of business development at the new Life Care Center. And they certainly seemed excited about that possibility as well. Improve the visibility of their facility. By the way, it's an amazing place. Got ready to ask, where do I sign up? Mr. Cagle, anything else?
I've got 2 more I'm running for.
Okay. Mr. Super? Mr. Williams? So,
I also toured that facility a couple of days ago, and it's beautiful.
it is. They have big plans for that campus. So, yeah, it's exciting to watch that unfold. All right, wanted to say, one thing I just want to say thank you to the East Ridge Council of the Chattanooga Area Chamber of Commerce and all the volunteers who showed up to help paint. Last Saturday, they started out with, the school started out with modest expectations at Spring Creek Elementary. They wanted to paint one hallway. And so they had anticipated spending all day there, 8 hours to paint. They started at 8 o'clock in the morning. When I got there at 10:30, the hallway was done, and they had started on a second hallway. And so we got the second hallway done, and the whole thing was over with by noon. So just an amazing turnout. I think they probably had 30 people or so total. So I know they're very, very appreciative of public support there, and it looked really good, and it was great to be able to make a tangible difference. That's what it was. So again, thank you to everybody who took part in that. That's all that I had, Mr. Miller. Do you have anything?
I have nothing.
Okay. So we will adjourn this agenda session and move into our regular council meeting.